Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Life's Playbook podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is season 4, episode 10. Season 4, episode 10. We are 2 seasons away from season 5. We gonna be putting on our debating shoes today. We gonna talk about our top 10 quarterbacks heading into the 2025 NFL season. So, without further ado, let us dive into today's episode. For those of you who are new to the show, I am your host, Quinn Jackson. I am joined today by my respectable co-host, Noah Hawley. We're going to be giving you guys our top 10 quarterbacks. The lists might be different. They might be the same. Who knows? Let's get into it. Before we get into today's episode, make sure to download Prize Picks, mostly sports fantasy app, as well as Knicks. There's no point of return for you guys. You're down 0-2. Y'all ain't coming back. And Timberwolves, y'all are selling me hard. I don't know about you, Noah, but they selling me hard right now in this series. Y'all got to win Game 3 tonight. So Knicks not Knicks. Get the job done. With that being said, let's talk about it. I feel Life'sPlaybook have noticed that you guys engage a lot and seem to respond a lot to the top 5 videos, the debate type of videos and whatnot. So it is only fitting that we keep the torch, keep the flame going. I gave you guys my top 5 NFL running backs last time. A lot of you guys blew up about the Bijan hate, and I still stand by it. Bijan is not that great compared to the others that I pointed out on the list. So we're gonna talk about our top 10 quarterbacks today, and we're gonna see if y'all disagree or have different lists or agree with some of the placements. This is taking into account everything that they've done from 2023 to now. So the last 2 seasons. This isn't talking about their entire careers, because if that was the case, Matt Stafford would be higher than all the dudes. Well, except Patrick Mahomes. But this isn't taking into their entire career. This is just taking into account what they did from 2023 onward. So let's talk about it. We're going to start from 10 all the way to 1. So let's kick things off. Noah, do you want to kick off who you got at number 10 for your quarterback heading into 2025? Oh, also, another thing, this is also considering the potential and the talent and whatnot and the momentum going into 2025 as well. Noah, you want to kick us off with your number 10? For my top 10, I have Jared Goff at number 10 for me. I got Jared Goff at number 10 for me. I know he led the best team in the league in 2024. I get they got bounced in the second round by the Commanders, which still baffles my mind till this day. But he didn't play good. He didn't play good in that game. I get it. Again, we're not talking about his entire career, because he would have, if that was the case, he would be higher than the other 9 guys on this list besides Mahomes. But right now, he's and I'll kind of circle back to this when I talk about Matt Stafford, but he's kind of on a decline. He's an older guy. He can give you a good season, obviously. He can lead the team to the playoffs, obviously. But we saw in the playoffs, when the lights get bright, he's not Timothy. He's not Timothy at times. But I got Matt Stafford, or not Matt Stafford, Jared Goff. Excuse me, Jared Goff at 10 for me. He's still got a lot of faith in the brother, but he is an older guy, and I don't think he's going to be able to hang with the cool cats for much longer. Justin Fields at 10. We might have to figure that out. You must really like Justin Fields, man. You think he gonna do great things for the Jets this year? Interesting. Interesting. Well, we'll see. The Jets definitely they got pieces. I'll give you that. They got good pieces. But we'll see if they can piece it all together. I'll kick us off at number 9. For my number 9, I have the man that we kicked to the curb, and honestly, he could be a lot higher based on how he's looked and how he's recuperated. But we kicked this man to the curb, and we're still mourning the loss of this guy. That's Baker Mayfield. I got Baker Mayfield at 9. It is ridiculous what we did to him. It is ridiculous that we are in shambles because of what we did to him. But I can't deny he's found his footing in Tampa. He's looked great. He is a playoff performer. However, when the lights get bright, he is known to do some stupid things in the playoffs. And he can be costly in playoff games. I think if he fixes that, he can be a top 5 dude for sure. And he is still a little bit turnover prone, in my opinion. But he's still that dude. He's finally found his footing. Still kicking ourselves in the foot over him, but I got Big Baker at number 9 for me. It's a shame we got rid of him. It's a shame we got rid of him. But no, who you got at 9?
And he's one of the better quarterbacks to come out of Ohio State. So that's why I have him at number 9.
Now, I think CJ, he's on my list too. But at number 9, I think it's a little low. He's on my list too, but number 9, I just think is a little low. I think you kind of got to cut him some slack. But I think so far he's on my list. He's a little higher for me. So far my top 10. Look, these guys. Granted, when the playoffs come around, they kind of shrink in the moment, but they have statistically in the regular season, they've been top 15, top 10 dudes. So I can't disrespect them. Can't do it. But especially Baker after what we did to him. Can't do it. But moving on to number 8. So right now, as it stands, for my top 10, I got Jared Goff at 10, Baker at 9. Noah, you got Justin Fields at 10. And who was it? CJ? You got CJ at 9?
Yeah.
Which brings us to number 8. Noah, who you got at number 8?
At number 8, that's why I have Baker Mayfield at 8. I really much to see New York said every game.
Baker, we miss too. We need him back. For me, at number eight, I got Jordan Love. Yes, I think Jordan Love can be a top 10 dude. Here we are. Jordan Love can be a top 10 dude in this league. He's the biggest problem, and you could argue he could be like 9 or 10 because he's the biggest dude on my list personally that has this problem. But the biggest problem with him is he is a turnover machine. Baker kind of mixed that a little bit with himself being a turnover machine, but Jordan Love, look, if he fixes the turnover problems, he can be a top 10 dude in this league. I think he's a top 10 dude in the league in general, but he's got to fix the turnover problem. And besides him, he's had a good, you know, he's had a good stretch as a starter so far. Can't hate on the brother. I just think if he fixes the turnover issue, he can definitely be a lot higher on many people's top tens, maybe even be included. Because I've seen a lot of top 10 QBs and him not included. So I think, hey, Jordan Love, fix the turnover situation. You gonna be Timothy for the next 10 years. But I got Jordan Love at 8. I got Jordan Love at 8. For me, hey man, I think you sleeping on anyone and everyone from the North, man. First the Bears, now Jared Goff, now Jordan Love. What's going on with you in the NFC North, man? You not sold on anything up there in the North, bro? I can get behind that. I can get behind that. Which brings us to number 7. I'm going to kick us off at number 7. At number 7 for me, this is where I have C.J. Stroud. I got him at 7. If this was 2023, he would be top 5. But can't deny what he did in 2024, and it's not his fault. His offensive line was nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Nico Collins got hurt. No, wait, no, he didn't get hurt. Excuse me. Stephon Diggs got hurt. Tank Dell got hurt, and he hardly had anybody else to rely on. The run game was great, but those three things just kind of snowballed into not like statistically, it still wasn't even a bad season, but it certainly wasn't as good as the rookie season. But I think he gonna bounce back. He gonna win the division. Everybody's gonna be healthy. They gonna have a new receiving core. Stephon Diggs is gone. Hopefully the offensive line shows up. CJ gonna be back. But I got CJ at 7, mainly because of that this past season. He would be a lot higher if 2024 didn't happen. But he's still elite. He's still elite, and he's still a top 10 dude. Noah, who you got at 7?
So now at 7, I don't care if he's an older guy. You may hate him, but I got Matthew Stafford here. He's coming to age of retirement, but he did win the Super Bowl. That's why I put him at 7. Those guys, they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. He's consistently making the Rams playoff contender. They're runner-ups every year. He's done with them. So that's why I'm.
Well, I love me some Matt Stafford. I think where you have him is not far off where I have, which leads us to number 6. Now I got Matt Stafford at 6, so I got him a little higher than you, but I got Matt Stafford at 6. I love Matt Stafford. I'm just come out and say it. I love Matt Stafford. Love the Rams. Dude is reliable. You pretty much said everything I would have said about him. He's consistent. He constantly makes a playoff team. Even when the lights are dim, things are grim for the Rams, he can still perform. And they were this close to making the Super Bowl. This close to making the Super Bowl in 2024. This could be his last year because he is old, and I don't think he'll be able to hang with the younger guys for much longer. So this could be his last ride. He is a Super Bowl champion, but I love me some Matt Stafford, so I got him pretty high on my list. I got him at 6. But Noah, who you got at 6?
So my 5 and my 6, they could be interchangeable. I do feel they're on the same level, but I'm gonna put at my number 6 because he's younger. I'm going to put Justin Herbert at 6. No, he didn't have any.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting having Jay Herb on this list. Now, look, I've seen a lot of quarterback lists, a lot of top 10 quarterback lists, and Jay Herb is on the list. He sometimes cracks the top 5. I don't know. I don't know about Jay Herb. I mean, I get what you're saying. He hasn't. Okay, look, he hasn't had a lot of help with the receivers that he's had, and they still made the playoffs. Great. Statistically, in the regular season, he does look good. Like, he is elite in the regular season. But dude, did you see him in the wild card against Texans this 2024 season? I mean, what was it? Four picks. That that moves me, man. That moves me in the opposite direction of how I feel about him. But I look, I get what you're saying, and I think now that they finally did something, he gonna be better in the playoffs. But I don't know. I don't know about Jay Herb. I don't know about it. But I get everything you're saying, though. He gonna be back. He gonna be back. I am with you on that. I think he gonna be back now that he's finally got some help and a good running back. And that brings us to the top 5. So, as it stands, before we talk about the top 5, quick recap of our 10 through 6 QBs. I'll rock mine. I got Jared Goff at 10, Baker at 9, Jordan Love at 8. I got CJ Stroud at 7, and Matty Stafford at 6.
I had Matthew Stafford, and at 6, I had Justin Herbert.
Having said that, let us know. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of our 10 through 6 guys. And if there are other people that should be ahead of them, the ranking should be switched on them, or if we straight bugging. I don't think we are. I think you might be bugging with having Justin Fields in the top 10, but we'll find out. We'll see what he does. That brings us to the top 5. Now, I should hope we're all thinking the same 5 guys for this top 5. I should hope we're all thinking the same 5 guys. It's pretty straightforward. The 5th spot, though, the 5th and the 4th spot, sometimes I've seen other people have other guys in there. But I'm thinking we are thinking alike right here, and we have the same 5 guys, just depends on the order. So, let's talk about it. Let's start with number 5. I'll go first. At number 5, I got the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Shiesty at 5. I got Joe. Now, look, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. I got Joe Shiesty at 5. Now, hear me out, dude. Hear me out. Look, this man has not been in the playoffs since 2021. And I understand it. His teams have not been great. He's had the worst defense of all time last season. And I get it. Statistically, the dude is an MVP. And if he had a defense, he probably would have won MVP in 2024. But the dude has not been in the playoffs since 2022, technically, when he was in the Super Bowl. And all of this dude's success, his hype, was built around beating Patrick Mahomes in the divisional round. Yeah, in the divisional round, for sure. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to have to go back to the 2021 playoffs. But all of his success and hype has been around that moment. Had that moment not happened, I'm not even sure we'd be talking about Joe Burrow. But I get it. Statistically, the dude is he's the savior of the Bengals. Statistically, I get it. He's an MVP dude, but he hasn't done anything outside of 2021. And I get it. His teams were trash. Don't get me wrong, Bengals fans. I know you guys are going to come for my heads based on where I have Joe Burrow, and I get his teams were god awful as of late. and it's really only going to get worse on defense because they haven't signed Trey Hendrickson, and I'm just now hearing that one of their rookies is sitting out because he's not getting a contract, which makes no sense. But the dude hasn't done anything since that. He hasn't done anything since 2021, and I get it that maybe that's not his fault. Maybe I'm just slighting him based on what the team has done, and the teams he's had haven't been great. But I'm just saying, if he's this MVP level guy and he's Himothy, which he is for the Bengals, he's Himothy. He should be able to get in the playoffs no matter the situation. But I got Joe Shiesty at 5. I know a lot of people. If this gets clipped, a lot of people are going to come for my heads on that. But I got Joe Shiesty at. I got him at. This is not as crazy as what I just said, but I just think age is creeping up on golf. And I also like Stafford a lot. And because I like Stafford a lot, I got to put golf down. Look, Stafford, since getting you know exiled from the Lions, he's been on fire. And Goff's been on fire too, but Stafford, I think we can all agree that the Rams won that trade when that happened. The Rams definitely won that trade when it happened. But look, maybe maybe it's my Matt Stafford bias coming out, but I just think, and plus, they're both old. They only got a few years left. I don't expect them both to give us any more career changing seasons. But interesting spot with Jared Goff at 4. No, wait, 5, 5, 5. Now we're gonna talk about 4. Now we're gonna talk about 4. And 4 for me is another man, another legend, Josh Allen. I got Josh Allen at 4. No, now hear me out. This is all. Hear me out. Hear me out, dude. Hear me out. This is all gonna make sense when I tell you who my number 2 is. This is all gonna make sense. So you're gonna start to see a theme with my top 5. All right, this is all gonna make sense when I tell you who I got at number 2. And I'm not even a fan of the team. So that's your hint right there. I'm not even a fan of the team. Who I have at 2. But let's talk about it real quick. I got Josh Allen at 4. Now, he just won an MVP. Many would argue he shouldn't have won it because statistically, Lamar Jackson had a way better season. Way better season. Me personally, I think it was deserved that he won it. He was going to win one eventually, and he did. And that's mainly the bigger. That's mainly the bigger reason he's above Joe because he's got a MVP. Joe doesn't. Joe has comeback player of the year, and that's cool and all, but that doesn't hold the same weight as an MVP. But anyways, and I get it. Look, I get it. Joe and Josh Allen, they put up career numbers. All right, they put up career numbers. They're unicorns. So Josh is a unicorn to the Bills. Joe is a unicorn to the Bengals. I get it. They're great guys. I would pick both of them to start my franchise with. But we can't deny that the postseason also contributes to how we view quarterbacks. And I think we all know what I'm about to say. Josh Allen, say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Allen has not gotten past the AFC Championship. And I understand it. He's faced Mahomes every single time, and Mahomes has gotten the best of him every single time. And you could argue, because I've watched about every meeting they've had in the postseason, and you could argue some of those games, the refs kind of screwed the Bills over, especially this recent championship. I get all those things, and dude, Josh Allen is definitely going to win a Super Bowl in his career. And if he doesn't, I don't know what to say about that. But the postseason has to account for how we look at these quarterbacks, which is another hint to the dude I have at 2. And Josh Allen hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it yet. Until Josh Allen can get to a Super Bowl, let alone win one, I got him at 4. He's at 4 because he's got the MVP and Joe doesn't. But I got Josh Allen at 4. So that's who I got at 4. Who you lay it on me, bro? Who you got at 4, man?
So yeah, look, I think I have an idea on who your 2 is, and if it's who I'm thinking, you're crazy. I don't even have it as a top. Choose who I think it is, dog. I promise you, he's not a top 10 quarterback.
We gonna find out in a minute because we are one spot behind 2. We gonna find out in a minute. Real quickly about what you said about Joe Burrow and Jared Goff. You can't switch those out. Joe Burrow, you cannot switch out Joe Burrow and Jared Goff. Dude. Joe Burrow has done way more than Goff has ever done as of right now. As of right now, Joe Burrow has done way more than Goff has ever done.
Hey man. When's the last time the Lions had a losing record with Jared Goff? Okay. Okay.
Oh,
When's the last time the Bengals had a losing record with Joe Burrow? This past season, no?
they went 9-8.
They went 9-8.
They went 9-8.
Oh shit. I don't know, man.
Look, if this was like career-wise, then maybe I'd give it to Goff because Goff's been in the league way longer than Joe. And they both have made Super Bowls. Goff made it in 2018. Yeah, Goff made it in 2018 with the Rams. And Joe made it in 2021. And they both lost. But if this was like all time, then I understand that. Goff's been in the league way longer. But I don't think you can switch Joe and Goff. Like right now. I don't know about that. But let's get to number 3. And maybe this might be the dude we both have like the same ranking on. I hope we're thinking of the same dude here. I hope we're thinking of the same dude.
We are not.
We not thinking about Lamar Jackson because I got him at 3.
Heck no. Yeah, no.
Lamar
Hey,
Jackson.
I know who your number 2 is, bro. It's that dude.
Lamar Jackson. Hey, I got Lamar Jackson at 3, dude. I got Lamar at 3. And look, basically everything I said about Josh Allen, put it on Lamar Jackson tenfold. Plus, I like Lamar a little more than Josh. And you could argue Lamar should have been a 3-time MVP, but he got snubbed because Josh Allen lost in the conference championship, and they just felt sorry for him. They said, "Here, have your MVP." But Lamar is Timothy. He's a generational talent. He is definitely going to win a Super Bowl in his career. Again, but just like Josh Allen, the postseason matters. And ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. He can barely get past the divisional round depending on who he plays. And he hasn't been able to get over the conference championship over Mahomes. And I get it. He's played Mahomes. And I get it. In the divisional round, Mark Andrews, Butterfingers himself, he wouldn't. First off, Mark Andrews, if I were you, I wouldn't even get on the same flight after that debacle. I wouldn't even get on the same flight. If I was the Ravens, you wouldn't even be on the same flight. But I get it. Lamar, he's cool. I would start a franchise with him. Definitely, definitely a generational dude. Definitely will win a Super Bowl in his career. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl in his career, I don't know what world we're living in. But postseason matters to me. It matters to me as well. I get it. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar are all regular season gods. In the regular season, they kill it. But in the postseason, besides Joe, when he has the right team around him, he can get to the Super Bowl. But Josh Allen and Lamar, you guys just have to show me that you can get to the Super Bowl, much less win it. And y'all could be 2-1. If I got Lamar at 3, I hope you got Lamar in your top 5, dude. I hope Lamar is somewhere in your top 5. Because I really thought we were both gonna have the same ranking here, Lamar at 3. But I guess you got a slightly different criteria on QBs than I do. But lay it on me. Who you got at 3? Who you got at 3?
I already know who one is. One's gonna be Mahomes, Super Bowl winner, yeah, right? 2, I swear to God, if you say Jalen Hurts, bro, I swear to God, dog, if you say Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback, bro, you're tripping. But at my number 3, I have I have Josh Allen, bro. Hey, you're tripping. Put Josh Allen at whatever you put him at, 4 or 5. You're tripping, bro. Josh Allen is a great quarterback, MVP caliber type of guy. The only problem he has is he can't beat Mahomes in the playoffs. If he could beat Mahomes,
Dude, you just summed it up.
okay, but like that wouldn't make his ranking lower, bro. Because who was his true receiver this year when he took the Bills to the conference championship? Who was his number 1, number 2 guy?
Well, his number 1 guy was Khalil Shakir. I think that's his name. And his number 2 dude was Mac Hollins, who's now gone. But you're right. He didn't really have a true wide receiver 1 or 2.
Exactly. I mean, you could say Amari Cooper, but Amari Cooper kind of washed after he left the Browns. He did great things this season, bro. He deserved that MVP. Only problem, there's only one bad thing is he can't beat Patrick Mahomes when it comes to playoffs, bro. If he could beat Mahomes, I would have him at 1 or 2, but he just can't beat Mahomes when it comes down to it. So I do got him at 3 for that exact reason.
All right. Well, you pretty much know who 2-1 for me are. And y'all know the criteria that I'm going on. It is playoff success as well as the regular season.
Oh.
So I'm just going to knock mine out the way. I got Jalen Hurts at 2, and I got Patty. I got Patty Mahomes at 1. All right, let me talk about Jalen. Let me talk about Jalen Hurts because I know this is gonna make so many people pissed, so many people mad.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let me try to put a Band-Aid on this. So, guys, Jalen Hurts, I get it. In the regular season, he's not that impressive. Statistically, in the regular season, dude's not even a top 15. I'm not gonna say he's not top 20 in the regular season because he's definitely in it. But in the regular season, I get it. He's not flashy. He doesn't put up crazy numbers. He's not throwing highlight reels. He's not side-arming the ball. I get it. He had a super team. He had the, one of the best wide receiver duos in the league. He had Saquonicus Barkley's. He had an all-time great offensive line. He had all that good stuff. He had a tremendous defense, tremendous secondary. He had all that good stuff, and he had a questionable coach. Nick Sirianni, he kind of crashed out, but he had all that good stuff. I get it. He was lathered from head to toe with talent all around. But in the Super Bowl, not once, and not only in the 2022 Super Bowl when they first met, but in the 2020 this past Super Bowl. He not only outplayed Mahomes statistically, he got the job done the second time around. And look, his team wins. He's a winner, and I got to give him credit for that. He does enough to win the football game, and that is ultimately what matters in the NFL, winning the game. And Hurts does that. He said it himself. He's a winner, nothing more, nothing less. I got to respect him for it. He don't have to be crazy. And I'm pretty sure I said this a very long time ago, like when the podcast was fresh, and I was talking about him. But he don't have to be flashy. And I think we see Lamar Jackson scrambling for like 10 yards. You know, we see Josh Allen stiff arming dudes and breaking tackles and side arming the ball, and you know the Hail Marys are great and the highlight reels are great, but Jalen Hurts is just quietly in the shadows, winning week after week, and I gotta respect him for it. I gotta respect him for how he plays. I gotta respect him as a winner. Dude, I've seen a lot of top 10 lists out there, and he's barely in the top 5. He's on the top 10. He's on the list, but he's not in the top 5, and I gotta respect him for it. He's a winner, and statistically in the postseason, he shows up, and I get it. Go ahead, throw the super team allegations out there, but are you not supposed to have a good team to not only get to the playoffs but win it? Jalen Hurts is number 2, and number 1 is Patty Mahomes for obvious reasons. I ain't even gonna talk about that guy, but y'all, postseason matters to me at least, and what you do in the postseason matters to me as well. I got them. That's my top 10. That's my top 5 right there. But here we are. Noah, who you got at 2 and 1?
Okay.
First, I'm about to talk about your little pick right here with Jalen Hurts. If anybody had the O line that Jalen Hurts had, bro, hang on, my mic is tweaking. Dude, you could put me behind that O line, bro, and I'll win an MVP. I would win a Super Bowl behind that O line right there. Put Kenny Pickett back there, bro. He would win a Super Bowl. Dude, Jalen Hurts wasn't even a runner-up for MVP, bro. He wasn't even in the top 5 for the MVP. So for you to have him at 2 was like low-key kind of crazy, bro. But my number 2 is Lamar Jackson, bro. We've seen plenty of quarterbacks like Lamar. Before him it was Cam Newton. Before Cam Newton it was Michael Vick, and before Michael Vick you could say it was Randall Cunningham. The quarterbacks that utilize their legs, they bring a new type of game to the NFL because it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to not schedule, but like build a defense to stop it because they're both dual threat. Yeah, game plan. It's hard to game plan against that because they could not only run with their legs, but they could throw the football too. And that's something that Lamar struggled with earlier on in his career was he was just mainly utilizing his legs. But we can see he adapted. He started throwing the football a lot more. His main receiver, that I know is really just Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers is good though.
I know, but like that's really his only guy. OBJ, bro. I'm pretty sure he was on the Dolphins this past season, bro. Like I could switch him for. Hey, I will put Jaden Daniels on my list before I ever put Jalen Hurts in my top 10.
You know what? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But carry on, good sir. Carry on.
So yeah, and then obviously everybody's number 1 is going to be Patrick Mahomes, bro. Look, as much as I hate Patrick Mahomes, he's a good quarterback, bro. I mean, when's the last time the Chiefs missed the playoffs, bro? Like, I'm getting tired of seeing the Chiefs in the playoffs. I'm tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes win. That's what I gotta say. Patrick Mahomes is a great guy. Not a great guy. I lied about that. He's a great quarterback. As much as I hate him, bro, he has great talent. It's hard hard to stop that.
Honestly. Well, it's clear to see that from our list, not for our list, but for our top five, I should say, for our top five, I don't want to say you don't value postseason success as much as I do, but you definitely don't hold it against, Lamar and Josh and Joe as much as I do. But I do. Postseason success does matter to me. And I'm not saying the other three can't get it done in the postseason. Joe did it in 2021. And I'll say it from the rooftops. If he has a good team, he can get back. But Josh and Lamar, y'all can win all the MVPs y'all want. But at the end of the day, if y'all don't have a Super Bowl to show for it, I ain't gonna lie. We gonna have very difficult conversations when it's time to talk about are they Hall of Fame worthy or not. But I don't know. Y'all let us know in the comments down below what y'all think about our top 10. Jaden Daniels. Let me talk about him for a second, because I really thought you was gonna have him on this list. Because every time you talk about him, you seem very high on him. So I thought he was gonna be on this list. I'm kind of surprised you didn't have him on the list. I thought you'd put him in over like Stroud or something. I thought you'd sneak him in at like 6, maybe top 5. But I'm surprised you didn't put him on the list, because you seem very high on the kid. But what's going on with that? You left him out of the top 10.
For the sake of the video, I put, what would I call that? It's not glazing, but like, I put my opinion to the side when it comes down to Jaden Daniels. I was gonna put him at top 10, but I put Justin Fields there. A lot of those other guys, I'm not gonna say they're better than him, but they've been in the league longer than he has. It was his rookie year after all. Maybe after next season, I might have him at number 3. Depending on how this season goes. But Jaden Daniels, I like how he plays, bro. I low-key think he's the next Cam Newton for real, bro. Just for the Commanders.
I see I see the comparison. He could be the next Cam Newton. He could be what RG3 never was. I'll say that. He could be what RG3 never was. RG3 could have done great things if his knee didn't get absolutely obliterated. So I'm surprised Jaden Daniels wasn't on your list. I thought he would. So, y'all, I think between my top 5, look, I understand that realistically speaking, if postseason stuff didn't matter as much to me, I understand that my top 5 would probably be damn near identical to my co-host Noah's. But I value postseason success as well as regular season success. That's probably also why I didn't have J Herb on my top 10, because he's great in the regular season, but in the postseason, he just is not looking that good. But yeah, realistically, I understand why guys like Josh and Lamar and Joe are over Jalen and Pat, because they are arguably more talented than them. I'll give you that. They're more explosive and flashy, and they're highlight reels. And Jalen and Pat don't really do that. They just kind of go out there, play the game, and win it. And I gotta respect it. Because that's why they're there. That's why they're there on my top 1 and 2. Realistically speaking, I understand the thought process behind putting Josh, Joe, and Lamar over those 2 guys. All right. I understand that heavily, but to me, I value postseason success just as much as I value regular season stuff. With that being said, let us know in the comments down below who y'all got in y'all's top 10. If we left out any QBs who y'all think should have been in the top 10. If the rankings on our top 10 list should be different or not, switched around. Some guys over others. But with that being said, Noah, you got anything else you'd like to say before we close?
I don't care if you're an Eagles fan. I don't care if you hate me. Jalen Hurts will never be a top 10 quarterback, bro. Any QB that's with the Eagles in the 2020 eras, Jalen Hurts is going to be great. That O line is just too good, bro. Like, you can't call yourself a top 10 quarterback just because your O line, bro. Like, Joe Burrow, he barely does anything. I'm lying. Disregard what I just said, bro. He does things with the O line that's not that good, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I just don't like. I don't see Jalen Hurts being a top 10 quarterback.
Oh no, man. No. Oh. But we'll catch you guys for season 4, episode 11. Podcast. Until then, peace out.